All right. Here we are with Karrigan, and we just finished one match. Fnatic versus.
That was Shanghai. It's hard to pronounce the name, but it's Shanghai, something like that.
All right, and you guys won 16-5 or something? Huh?
16-4, yes.
16-4. So first, congratulations to the victory. And how do you feel about the match?
I thank you for in the beginning, but I mean the match when we went into the match, we thought we will win this run because we have played Dust 2 and trained down here in 6 matches because of the random pick of maps. So when we picked the map Nuke, we knew we are strong on Nuke and the Chinese team are not so strong on Nuke. And we proved ourselves to be one of the stronger team on Nuke. We won 13-2 in the first half, and it was really one side, I would say, and we ended up with winning 16-4.
Before we jump into our interview, something happened in the middle of the game. I see one of you guys dropped. So what happened?
Basically, we played the gun round, and suddenly in the gun round, Freeze dropped out. His computer just turned off. And according to the rules, normally in every other game and in Europe and the big tournaments, if you crash in the pistol round, you need to pause or you need to restart the match. But so we waited in the second round that we waited for Freeze to come. He turned on his PC and his microphone doesn't work. So we just die the other rounds, and then we say, hey, we need to do something about it because he can't get into the game. It takes time, and his microphone doesn't work. And he was the one making the TeamSpeak server used or wake call server used. So we couldn't really do anything about it. And I think the problem was that we're used to other rules, so we kind of dropped out, and then we come, hey, there was a problem, we can't roll up, we need to stay in the game. So we played 3 rounds until we told them we need to do it other way. So we restarted the match, and we lost pistol on purpose, so they got the money, and everything was like it was before. So everything was fine. I think it was the most fair decision, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I have a question list here, so shall we go through it? Firstly, welcome to China, and how do you feel about this trip so far?
So far, it's been a long trip. I mean, the second time I'm being in China. I've been to Guangzhou before for 1 week. I think it's really nice and really nice people, and people are very welcoming. And we have K1 has taken good care of us, and everything has been so good so far.
That's great. So you said you've been to China before, so it's for traveling purpose, or?
It was a gaming purpose. It was, I think, in October, Extreme Mastered, when I used to play with mouse sports. So we went into the final playing against Fnatic and lost. So that was so Freeze and other players also been to Guangzhou.
Okay. So. Second question, why do you guys choose to participate in this K1 tournament?
I mean, it's obvious that something happened on Counter-Strike now. We have Counter-Strike Online, we have Counter-Strike 1.6 ranked Counter Source, and then Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So I mean, when we got the offer to play this tournament, we saw there was no tournament 1.6. So it's actually an easy decision to try something new and get to China. And I love Fnatic love to have us in China. Have a lot of fans here, so it's actually an easy decision for us to get to this tournament.
Okay, so it's a team decision and it's an organization decision, right? To come to China.
They ask if we want to go. I says yes, of course we want to participate in tournaments because it's always something that's happening in this second of the year. So we need to participate in so many tournaments so we can play more CS.
Great. So it has been several matching days. So how do you feel about this CS Online so far?
I mean, we played the 2 first games and we lost pretty big margin against Tyloo 16-4 on Train. And afterwards we went into the second match against TFE and lost in overtime on Train also. And then we changed something in the team. We went to Ireland for a peer tour. And in that peer tour we talked about in the team, we changed in-game role. So now I'm the in-game leader. Frida joined before this tournament, and he was supposed to take the in-game leader role. So that actually happened, and we changed that. And we went into kind of a winning streak. We won 2 matches easily, I would say, 16-9, 16-4. And then we got back into a bad streak again. We lost against Tyloo, and we lost against the same. played against today. And now we need to put ourselves on a higher level because we need to win the one of the 2 last matches, and hopefully we will qualify for the playoffs.
Okay. As I know, something happened to Freeze a couple of days ago. So what happened?
When we get back from Ireland, I think 1 or 2 days after, he had some really problems in his stomach, and I think it was food poisoning. But he seems to recall from that, and he's all right now. So I think everything is fine.
So did he take any Chinese medicines? Magic medicine?
I think he took something, but I don't know if it was food had something from home to his stomach. So he took some medicine and was good after 1 or 2 days. So everything was good.
That's great.
Yeah.
So just now you also mentioned that previously the in-game leader was Feng, right?
Was Fnatic.
Sorry?
Yeah, in-game leader role. Fnatic, yeah.
And now you're. So why did you choose? Why did you guys choose him to be the in-game leader initially?
Because Exist left us, I think, 1 or 2 weeks before these tournaments came up. So we had to find one player to replace him, and we saw Fnatic as a good in-game leader. Yep. But the problem is we play a different style from all other teams, so we had to learn about the style, and he doesn't really know what we used to do and how we mix it up. So I told him we need to change something because he needs more time to do it, and time is nothing we have down here and for the next tournaments. So then it was between me and Muddy, and I took the role because I've done it before, a long time before. So, but everyone is helping in the team, but one in the end has to make the decisions, and I'm doing that right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think the next question, basically you've already answered that you took the in-game leader role, so we skip that one. So currently there are 3 Danish and 2 Swedish in the team. So how do you solve the communication problem?
Basically, Muddy's lived in Denmark for 2 years, so we actually understand all Danish words. And when you talk about Danish and Swedish, it's actually the same, just a little different accent, and some words are completely different. But in game we don't have these big problems at all. We understand all each other, and there's no problem there. But sometimes out game I have trouble understanding Fnatic, for example. But I understand Muddy quite well because I played with him for a long time. But Freeze and Trace basically understand all words, so it's just actually easy for us in game, but our game sometimes problems.
So so in game do you speak Swedish or
Swedish
Danish?
and Danish, both.
Swedish and Danish,
so you can actually talk together in different languages because we have the same words, and we understand the most important words. All players
are all the same, so just to catch the keywords, right?
When you catch the keywords, it's actually quite simple to understand.
Yeah, that's cool. So in K1 you already finished 2 games against Tyloo.
Yeah.
And so how do you feel about this team in terms of team style?
I mean, all teams actually, when I played against all 3 teams, it's the same style for me. Just Tyloo hits a lot better, I would say, a bit aimer instead of the other teams. So the style is the same and the text is basically the same from what I can see. But again, it's a different game and you have to play different. I mean, our aiming style has changed. For me, I have changed my aiming style down here and with this game. So they beat us 16-4, 16-4 2 times, but one of the wrestles, which should have been 16-9 or something like this, but they were a lot better in this game. But I mean, we have seen Tyloo in other games in Counter-Strike to other tournaments, and they haven't been this good. So I mean, maybe they have a lot of motivation at the time, but I would say we are still one of the best team in the world in 1.6 if you speak over the last 6 months. So our wrestlers speak also for ourselves. So I mean, if they went to a tournament to play in 1.6, you will see how good they actually are then.
Okay. There was a show match scheduled against them, so but it was cancelled. What happened behind?
We didn't know about it. The Fnatic players. The Tyloo said to talk with one of the players from our team and said, "What about a show match?" And I think one said maybe. And then when we got back from Holsted after one match, they said, "Yeah, we have a show match coming up." I said, "Why do we have a show match coming up? One day we have free time. The only day we have free time, and to focus on these matches because it's important. So it's actually easy for us to say no because it's just a show match, and if we use our tactics and use them, we have still in 2 weeks tournaments coming up. So we actually canceled because we wanted to prepare for these games coming up because it's more important to play the playoff in just a show match.
So do you think it's still possible for you guys to have a kind of show match after the tournament?
I mean, we go after our last game. I think we go directly after our flight is scheduled. So I think maybe next time in November, if they can play a show match. But I mean, we haven't played 1.6 in 1 month, and I know Tyloo on the cafe they're playing CS 1.6 every day. So I mean, if we set up a game right now, you won't see the real result because we haven't played the game at all. We only played CS Online.
Okay.
So.
Okay. We have a small visitor here, huh? So before this tournament, you never played CSGO before, huh? Or
CSGO?
Yeah.
I played it before, some gathers and stuff like this, but we haven't practiced as a team. We haven't practiced at all. So that's why Exis actually left us. He wanted to get into the game directly, and we planned the next 2 months to play CS Online and CS 1.6.
Okay.
And then in November, in end of November, we will play a CSGO tournament at DreamHack.
Okay.
So I mean, we have to we have 2 tournaments coming up in October. So after these 2 tournaments, we will start practicing CSGO and hopefully we'll get good result in DreamHack.
So personally, how do you rate this game?
I mean, it's already different.
Sorry, compare with 1.6 with CS Online.
I mean, you can't really compare it. It's a lot different game. It's not Counter-Strike and it's not Source, I would say. It's a completely different game, if you ask me. But in the end, I have only played these gathers. And if you only play gathers in 1.6 and online, it's not a team game. So you don't get the feeling, you don't know the tactics, you don't know how to play together. And that's right now I don't feel the game is fit for me because I haven't used this time to play with my team and practice. So that's the only thing I'm playing in 1.6 because of the team game on the tournaments and stuff like this. So when you start practicing, I think I will start like it because a good tournament is coming up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, also as you previously mentioned that a lot of teams, they have transferred to CSGO. How are you guys gonna prepare for CSGO exactly? Like you're gonna have boot camp, like you said, your 2 months practice, but you also said there's gonna be a mix of CS 1.6 and CSGO. So how are you gonna balance those 2 games? Because as far as I know, there are not many 1.6 games left. So how are you gonna balance?
I think the last 1.6 tournament in Europe will be the 20th October. So we have like when we get back from K1 we have like 10-14 days to next tournament, and then we have 2 tournaments 1.6 in 1 week. And that's gonna be our focus for then. And then after this tournament, if we qualify for players, we're still going back to chance to play the CS Online. And meanwhile all other teams will play this game CSGO for the tournament upcoming in November in DreamHack in late November. So I mean, maybe we will have a hard time getting into the game because these teams are practicing right now. They get the 1 step further than us. But I mean, if we get into the game, we play 1 tournament, you get the tournament feeling, you will get more fast into the game. So I mean, all this practice right now won't give so much before you see the tournaments, because then you see the real teams, you see the real tactics, and then you get a feeling for how you should play the game. So I mean, right now I think it will be a hard time to go to CSGO because we have so many tournaments, CS Online, CSGO and CS 1.6. But I think you have to look CSGO for next year. You can't find the best team in this year at CSGO, so you have to start the new year with seeing who is the best in CSGO. You can't really say the last terms of this year, this is the best team. You have some candidates and then you wait to next year to see what is going to happen.
You basically answer my next question as well. So basically you're saying that for CSGO you are going to practice for tournaments purpose only, and so you don't have a specific target for each tournament, and for you guys it's just a learning curve, I would like to say.
I mean,
it takes time to adapt to this game, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really set a goal. You can set a goal you want to win this tournament, but you haven't played this game at all in the tournament. So for me, it's hard to say we're gonna win DreamHack Summer, DreamHack Winter, because nobody knows who will win. It can be Rare Games, a good team in Source. It can be the NIP players. It can be everyone. When you change, every player's gonna have their own style, and and in Counter-Strike you find. In the late 2 years, you see the game and the style has changed. It's not so tactic based. And what will CSGO be? It will be tactic based or will be aim based, like in CS right now. So that's why I'm hard time saying how it's gonna be. But I just know we want to be the best team in 2013 CSGO. But right now we want to finish this year being the best team 2012 and 1.6, and I think we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I think you guys already proved that point, that being the best 1.6 games all around the year and globally, huh?
Yeah.
Talking about CSGO, after transferring to CSGO, I mean, there could be a possibility that one team member is not quite, not adapting to the game very well. So how are you gonna deal with that? I mean, can we expect some, the worst thing like roster change, or you have any specific way to help each other to adapt into this game?
I mean, when we changed our roster now, we made a plan for 2.5 months, and it was the plan was ending with November the 25. We have the CSGO tournament, and after that, all things are really open. It's hard to say because I don't want to say I don't want to play CSGO before I play it in a tournament. I don't want to give it some month before I actually decide what to do. And I mean, so we have to see what happens after this CSGO tournament. And as far as I know, there won't be so many tournaments in December. So you actually have a month to decide what to do, to play with players, but I think we're gonna stay together. But if we crash out a group stage, lose all the games to DreamHack, sure there's gonna be some problems in the team, but you have to figure it out together. Because we know we're the best team in 1.6 right now, but it's a whole new game. So it's hard to say right now what the future will bring. But one thing is sure, we're gonna stay together to play this tournament in November.
Okay. Basically, that's all the questions on this small book. One question extra. So, I mean, you guys achieved a lot in this year, and look back to the old days. Fnatic has been famous for being the top Counter-Strike team globally, and they have stayed on the top level for many, I would say, several years. So how do you compare this team and the old ones?
I mean, it's very hard to compare the old ones because you had Get Right, you had Forest, and you had a lot of different teams back then. You had MTV, you had Medium Makers, you had all these big teams. So you can't really compare to say Navi is better because they were good in 2010 and stuff like this. And basically you say every team has their golden year, and they only have 1 year in their career, I would say. But I think Fnatic, for the second or third time, if we end up being the best team 2012, they have been there for many years and been there 3 times but still 3 different lineups. So I mean, Fnatic has achieved a lot, and I won't say we're better than other teams back in the other years, because CS is changing every year, and that's why you never see one team just winning all tournaments for 2 years. So I say, for right now, I say we're the best team since April, since we won Copenhagen Games. But before that, you can't really compare it. I won't do it because they had a big honor. They have won very big tournaments. So it's hard to compare lineups.
Okay. All right. I would like to thank you, Karrigan, for the interview, and congratulations again for the victory. I hope you guys keep it up, and hopefully we see you again in November. Yeah? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.